Mexican OT has the rapper's name. The rapper has is in controversy because he was on Andrew Yee's podcast, I believe, right? And he was talking about the N word, and like he did mention what the black guys act was mostly sisters there, and then he said, "Oh, what we gonna do about it?" And there's a thing that this 1999 birth defect. I did go there. I was turning 20 when this dude was born. Um, you don't know your history. And let me explain why that people don't want Latinos, particularly light-skinned Latinos like him, using the N-word who don't look black. Now, of course, he has a Negro nose. He has curly hair. That's Afro-Mexican DNA besides Spaniard indigenous in his background. But does he go around calling himself a partial black man, a partial Afro-Mexican, even though he 19 is? No. And let me explain why. For years, we all been concerned about white supremacy, racism, anti-blackness concerning white Anglo-Saxons. Everyone keeps forgetting that, yes, we have people in the Afro-Mexican community who are free, and also those enslaved who participated in this. We have folks from Africa, who kings and queens. We had some indigenous people, not all involved. We had Jews, we had Protestants, we had Catholics, we had everybody involved in this mess. But there was also Latinos involved. Now, of course, it's true. You had Latinos at the border, Mexicans at the border, helping African American people who were free or enslaved or pure or mixed, especially the black Seminoles who are mixed, going across Rio Grande so they would not become slaves in Texas. But you also had Mexican American Tejanos who enslaved African American people, who was on Sam Houston's side, who betrayed their country. So, and also they had shout out to my boss on TikTok, I know him as well. He also exposed not only Mexican Americans in the Confederate side, you had Puerto Ricans and Cubans on the Confederate side too. When during Jim Crow, they was going to make a category for Latinos. Of course, not every Latino was Mexican, but they was going to put a Mexican category. Guess who protested against that? LULAC, and wanted them to list them as white. Yes, the Chief Guadalupe Hidalgo bill made Latinos as considered white, even though Latinos are racially mixed between Indian and black. But the psyche, the white supremacy psyche, was participating in white supremacy to annoy, to deny the black side, okay, of your roots. Jose Vicaselos, who was abused by Anglos when he was a boy here in Texas, okay, but went back to Mexico and became Secretary of Education in Mexico. 100 years ago, he made a what's it called? I'm doing a video. He made an essay called La Raza Cósmica. La Raza Cósmica means the cosmic race. Of course, he was going against the Anglo-Saxon racist ideology here in the United States, but he still had some white supremacist viewpoints. Also, excuse me, baby, I'm doing a video. I'm doing a video on YouTube. He also was a lover of Nazi Germany. Instead of doing physical eugenics, he did spiritual eugenics. And he also had this thing called, that's where the idea of Mija la Raza came in, because he was trying to get rid of the indigenous and black-looking people in Mexico and other parts of Latin America as well. So since he was Mexican, he made this essay. This is the reason why Afro-Mexican history has been ignored until 2015 in December on Lady Guadalupe Day, December 12th, which I'm also catching. You know that, okay? That's what happened. They start to put it on the census because they've been ignored that Mexicans do have African blood besides indigenous Mexican. African is the third root of Mexico besides indigenous. Indigenous is the first, white Spaniard is the second, African is the third, and fourth is the Asian part, okay? So they also have Asian ancestors. I mean, some Mexicans do have Asian blood. Not all, but many do. So that's the reason why. But he was trying to cause the race mixing into white Latin America. That's the reason why. That's why you had in the Dominican Republic with Trujillo being anti-black. He had black ancestors. He was a mulatto or probably Afro-Mexican. He had indigenous blood as well because they thought, not all of them died. Many of them married the black slaves and those were free white people who was from Spain. People forget that happened in the Caribbean. Okay, it assimilates to the mulatto category, mixture. So the point is, that's why you see, and the reason why all this anti-blackness and indigenous as well, but mainly anti-blackness in Latin America start to come about because when the United States in the Jim Crow era would go to Latin America and do business, the white supremacists of the United States would be shocked to see free people of African heritage, indigenous, get along, and people who like white people, a mixture of race mixing. They were shocked to see this, and so the Latin American countries like Argentina, Cuba, Mexico, Dominican Republic, wherever, was afraid of losing money if they had that encouraged. That's why they had the mejor raza, marry someone lighter, close to European mentality, because they were doing business with the United States. Everyone keeps talking about Spain. Yes, Spain had a caste system, but the mixed race people in Latin America beat Spain. So what are you talking about? Until they started working with racist Ku Klux Klan in the United States. And let me say this. There's one thing why we got this ICE protest. The reason why Mexico's corrupt, I'm going to be real with you. Because when the United States started doing business with Mexico, and then they bought the factories and stuff, and you had the drug cartels from the CIA. The CIA was working with drug cartels to bring undocumented immigrants, I don't want to say illegal, to this country back in the 70s and 60s and the 80s to bring and put them in the African American community, which is only in the Spanish-speaking countries. They did the French-speaking countries like Haiti. They did in Jamaica, where they speak English. Oh yeah, they're bringing Caribbean people who are not Hispanic, who are undocumented, into the United States and put them in African American. Oh, that conspiracy is not a lie. Once us African American people won our civil rights, they were trying to find any theory to get us. That's why they had the abortion clinics. Remember Republicans are supposed to be against abortion, but no, it was Nixon. And white Republicans wanted abortion to be legal so we can depopulate. So people don't know the history, but the reason why we don't want people who are light-skinned Latinos to say the N-word, because during that time period, people like in LULAC, who are light-skinned Latinos, who do have indigenous and black blood besides white Spaniard, profess to be Spaniard, profess to be white, and act like white supremacists in the Ku Klux Klan. And that's why it's not good for someone like OT. Sorry, he's a dark skin Afro Latino. I'm talking about the OT, the OT, the Mexican OT, and Jennifer Lopez and Peso and whoever, Fat Joe. All these light-skinned Latinos are using these N-words. And then one thing I have to get upset is you have Afro-American descendant people from the ghetto, and I'm not saying everybody from the ghetto is trash dumb, but the ones who are, telling them to say the N-word. I'm 45 years old. I remember back in the 90s, had to correct Latino people saying the N-word, don't call me nigga. And here comes some African person from black American person. But we call ourselves niggas. They not white. We all come from the ghetto, and we blah 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 blah. And I was like, take your ghetto. And I'm sorry because I was being proper and not cursing. But I said, take your ghetto ass away from me with that bullshit. You like to be treated and called a nigga, cause I don't call myself a nigga. And yes, I call myself an Afro-Spit because I do have Hispanic roots from Louisiana. Okay, Louisiana was a Spanish in French territory, and when people tried to bash me for mentioning that, one time a brother called me a spick, and I said, well, damn, you the trash and ghetto trash I don't even want to hang with. You can call me and reject me all you want to. I am an Afro-Spick. Get away from me. I'm not your brother. Thank you. Bye. So, and yes, I did grow up middle class. Not saying everybody from the ghetto is bad, but I'm sorry, there's some significant numbers of people who are low education and perpetrated and let this happen. In particular, those who do have money, who came from the hood, who said would get a fabulous name, Diddy. And remember Jeff Lopez, even though it was Ashanti singing that part, but Jeff Lopez lip sing, I tell niggas mind their business, and then I'm real remix that they stole the parts of that song from Mariah Carey. Okay, so and Ja Rule was in there looking, acting thuggish and buffoonish and acting every anti-black stereotype, being thug ghetto. That's why I see why 50 Cent said he's a wankster. He ain't pop nothing. Okay, he wrote the lyrics for Jennifer Lopez to say that. And you had Diddy saying, well, Puerto Ricans and blacks, we call each other nigga, we come from the hood, and blah, 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 blah. It's weird, and let me educate you. You know George Zimmerman, and yes, George Zimmerman has Afro-Peruvian blood. His mother, or should I say his mammy, had told everybody, I have an Afro-Peruvian grandfather. He's not anti-black, but yet when he won his case, he starts throwing the Confederate flags. Okay, she married to a white man, talking about George Zimmerman's mama. George Zimmerman, back in the MySpace days, his nickname was Tug Nig because his Afro-American friends called him that, gave him the permission to say the N-word, called him a nigga, and then he used the word Tug Nig on his MySpace. And this is before Trayvon ended up being killed by him. So you see why people don't want to see Latinos use the N-word? I hope people understand that we have a history of light-skinned Latinos being dark-skinned Latinos too. I'm not gonna lie, because I remember on Casa Cerrado, Casa Cerrado case closed. They had an afro. She was darker than me. I'm camera skin. I've been in the sun a little bit, being homeless and high protein, but I'm not dark chocolate like Wesley Snipes, okay? This Afro Latina was dark chocolate like Wesley damn Sykes. And she was anti-black. Her light-skinned Latino husband, who may look mestizo, did not want to deal with her anymore and admitted that he has African blood. He was against her anti-black racism. Go look it up. It's on YouTube. I don't know if they took it down, but I remember sharing it with people. This one was dark chocolate like West Night, talking about she anti-black. She was for George Zimmerman. She was against Black Lives Matter. Oh, she had a club called Blanco Solamente, something like that. Only white, only no black. And she owned the club. I think it was in Miami somewhere. This old crazy fake ass sister, so the custom here is dark like a woman coming out of Africa in a slave ship. And she was Afro-Hispanic. Afro, like I don't know what country she came from, but bitch, I'm trying to cuss. I ain't trying to cuss. I was like, whoa. So, and of course, you had the light skin, light brown skin, darker Latino, Afro Latino from the Proud Boys, okay, who got arrested. I got his damn name is. He was one part of the Proud Boys. So just let you know, yeah, you do have Afro. I met some Afro Latinos, and I ain't gonna say some names on this app, who anti-black American and is trying to kiss up to those who light-skinned Latinos. We ain't saying no names. So we ain't saying no names. Those who know in my local YouTube crew, those who know it personally, we know who exactly what we talk about, but I ain't gonna say their name. As I was saying, let's get back to the subject. So point is, don't need to say any further. You probably can guess what I'm talking about, those who know me personally. But the truth of the matter is, that's why the people don't want light-skinned Latinos who don't look black, because we have a history of them being anti-black, even though they have ancestors that are black and try to hide it for white supremacy and kiss white racist people ass. And this Trump America administration is showing that the white cousins of ours who are Anglo-Saxon, who are not Hispanic origin, do not like their ass because they know their bloodline is screwed up, mixed up with indigenous and Negro. My thing is to OT. I keep saying OT Gen, sorry. OT Gen is also Afro Latino. Some of the one I love because he's dark skin. I think he do say the word nigga in the song. I love the Coco. Okay, but I'm talking about the light skinned Mexican dude, that Mexican OT. Okay, the Mexican OT. You want to defend use the N word so bad, right? But that loose, nappy, curly ass hair and a broad nigga nose. Are you gonna admit that you're part black, Afro-Mexican besides indigenous Spaniard? Are you gonna tell somebody you got some black ancestors? If you want to go ahead, use the N-word so bad. We know that Negro nose and come from indigenous and Spaniard, and we know that loose, curly ass, loose, nappy hair is not no damn Spaniard. Yeah, Spaniard indigenous mixed in, but we know the Negro has some of the curl pattern. Okay, let's call it like it is. Okay, I tell it like it is, y'all. I tell it like it is. Also, let me break it down why I realized why he's so defensive of the N-word. It's not just because we grew up. People don't do research. Besides allegedly going to Diddy's party and probably getting, I'm a cuss, fucked. Baby, I'm doing a podcast on YouTube, baby. I'm recording something. I'm doing a YouTube. I'm a YouTuber. Anyway, sorry, somebody over here. I'm not gonna mention who it is, but let me get to the story. So let me go back to the. She's still talking, baby. I'm doing a YouTuber. I'm talking. Anyway, so let me get to the subject. Okay, so OT. I mean, the Mexican OT. Let me also let y'all know where uh that he belonged to Isco Records. That's the one who promoted gangster rap over Death Row. Talking about Jimmy Iovine. Okay, and Jimmy Iovine worked in the rock industry until he saw interest working in the rap industry. After Jerry Heller, the devil of hip hop, as what Kid Frost called him, exploited Eazy-E, Dr. Dre, Yella, and Yella, DJ Yella, and what's the other one? Eazy-E, Dr. Dre, God dog it, and Ice Cube. Yeah, he exploited them. That's why No Vaseline came out. Okay. And so let me explain something. So Jimmy Iovine also he had did a song with a white woman named Patti Smith back in 1978. The song was called "Rock and Roll Nigger" with the ER, baby. So do you see why he said, "What you gonna do something about it?" Because he's under contract to exploit that word, use that word, act a fool with that word. Because somebody who owned the record label manufactured that word in a song back in 1978, sung by a Caucasian woman. Yes. And you see why you had Tupac and Biggie dead. Because you know that Patti Smith was under Clyde Davis. Whitney Houston, alleged killer besides Ray J and Rafa Van Exel. Diddy's butt-breaking slave master boyfriend. The alleged murder of Left Eye Lisa Lopez and Angie Stone, and maybe Rob from Milli Vanilli, and many other, and Phyllis Hyman, and Biggie, okay, and Kim Porter, okay, all right, Andre Harrell. Let's be real, and so that's why. So that's right. Even though it was an East Coast West Coast thing, because Clyde Davis was running Bad Boy, besides the Face Records. And Bad Boy on the Face Records, and then Jimmy Iovine was running Death Row Records besides Suge Knight after Harry O was locked up and Trump got him out. The founder of the Death Row Records. So the dark skinned brother he from Houston, right? And Bryce has a high yellow wife. I forgot that he from Houston. The one made Death Row Records wasn't Suge Knight. Suge Knight took over and Jimmy Iovine ran it. Okay, let's call it like it is. So this is the reason why this man feel comfortable, because his boss, who is Italian, I think he also Jewish too, promoted a song written called "Rock and Roll Nigger" by Patti Smith back in 1970 before I was born. And you see why the rap music got so much N-words, nigga this, and Clyde Davis was on, she was on the Arista Records before Whitney Houston joined it, okay? Before they signed a contract with Phyllis Hyman. Remember, Phyllis Hyman contract with Whitney Houston, right? We're going to tell the history. Got to tell the history. Because Phyllis Hyman showed her tickle bitties, her breasts, but don't Playboy, with some other magazine. And what's his name? Clyde Davis was upset about that, so he gave her contract to Whitney Houston. Yes. The two masterminds in the music industry who has promoted the word nigga and made it popular, using African people to use the word. Now they're using Latinos to use the word. And when Jennifer Lopez was trying to use the word nigga, but I wasn't shocked about that. Let me also elaborate that too, because remember I follow the industry. Okay, the Vibe magazine, La Vida Loca. Okay, it's Ricky Martin's song, but they had Jennifer Lopez on it back in '99, and she's on Vibe magazine. And in the article, I was so shocked and bothered. She was using the word nigga in that article. She did. Anybody got a page? She did. She referred to Mark Anthony as her nigga. Okay? And I'm like, baby, we just support your bitch ass playing Selena. What the hell you over here in the end? Like, girl, cálmate. Okay, chica, cálmate. Like, stop. Yeah, yep, Jennifer Lopez, she did. Back in '99, before 2 years, when I'm real, when she stole music samples from Mariah Carey, there's Mariah Carey Barn for her other song from her movie Glitter. Yeah, we got to tell you this, and Mariah Carey also is African American and Latina. Come on, everybody know her grandfather was Venezuelan. Mm-hmm. Roberto Nunez. Changed his name to Robert Carey. Mm-hmm. Okay. Her dad is dead. Her dad daddy. Okay. She part Hispanic too. Okay. So yeah. So Mariah Carey, she said she wouldn't even want her white mama use the N word. I remember one article she said that. So, but see, Tom Mottola was trying to go after her as he took that money. Okay, we all know the story. Okay, so now you get the reason why this little young, little dumbass thing who born the birth defect of '99, while turning 20 years old, is out here saying we gonna do about it. Let me explain, and I'm also speaking of Brownside and what's the other guy, the Chicano rapper, this Raza, Kid Frost, who Easy E gave the mic to. Toker, God rest his soul, who's Easy E best friend, who's Mexican American, who got killed in Mexico years ago, and Kid Frost, we go by Frost, now this Raza, has been saying, you need to stop using N-word. They're both Mexican. And they have been saying this for years. They're rappers. They're actually the reason why this man is rap, besides the other Latin rappers who are not Mexican, but they're still Hispanic, okay? Yeah, Puerto Rican, Dominican, whatever, Cuban, whatever, okay? They open the door for this little thing to rap, okay? And he said, Kid Frost and Toker has said, y'all need to stop using that word. So you had two Mexican American rappers who were friends with Eazy-E, who said, even though Eazy-E had a group called Nigga with Attitude, they both said, do not use that word. And even Toker said, if you're hanging around people, your friends, you might can get away with it, but there'll be some other African saying people who ain't not gonna like you saying that word. It's no different. He said this in one of the other videos on YouTube. So Toker talked a lot. I thought I talked a lot. Toker was a talker. Yeah, he talked a lot. And God rest his soul, Toker. Toker was a cool Mexican American rapper. I wish I met him in person. Okay. Sad he got killed. I did a video about that. That's why I was crying in my apartment in Keaton Homes when he got killed in Mexico. Toker said this: it's no different than a black person calling us a wetback if we say the word nigga. Didn't Toker say that? So this a Mexican American rapper way before this dumb pendejo OT I'm sorry, the Mexican OT who disrespected Fito Elevares La Cobra, okay, song, okay. Yeah, even Fito Elevares' family is trying to sue this bitch ass part Span, indigenous, Afro-Mexican, dumb nigga. Talking about yeah, I did, cause we have to call him a nigga too, cause he had that that wide nose and loose curly loose nappy ass hair. Okay, that OT Mexican, whatever his damn name is, who come up with a name like that? That's not even like I'm keep saying trying to say OT Genesis, the Afro-Latino rapper from who born in Long Beach, whose family's from Belize, seen us I'm in love with Coco. But this man, I don't know. Okay, so the Mexican OT who used the N word, two Mexican American Latino Hispanic legends rap industry have said, stop using that word. Toker, God rest his soul, who got killed in Mexico, and Kid Frost. Kid Frost has talked about that. That's not the word to be used. And Toker one time explained it. He says like someone calling us a wetback. So we'll get offended if someone calls us that. Why we use the word nigga? And Toker is one of the OGs that say that. And it's also all this talk about there's no black and brown unity. Let me cut, and I'm hearing it from African saying people, shut the fuck up, because I'm glad about Toker. Because one time Eazy-E was about to get jumped by those from Death Row Records. Guess who say Eazy-E? The Mexican gangsters in the south side of California, the Sureños. And Toker was there. They checked Suge Knight. Oops! They checked Suge Knight. Oops! They checked them other fake brothers who trying to jump Easy over this racist contract by Jerry Heller, the demonic. My question is, why nobody go jump Jerry Heller? Oh, because he was the devil of hip hop. Yep. When Frost talked about that, we thought I was talking about She Knight. No, because She Knight made the joke about Easy E. No, 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 no. He talking about that white man who happened to be. I'm not bashing Jews. I mean, Jesus. I'm not acting Christ like Jesus is my Lord and Savior. As a Catholic Christian, he was a Jew. Okay, a dark Jew. Okay, like it is. And he's saying to me, okay, he was a Gentile. Would say the same thing. Okay. I'm glad about it because it's no different than Nazi Germany where Hitler did propaganda against those who are Jewish. Okay, why do it to others? Why do it to other Africans, other people of marginalized communities? Okay, Jerry Heller was trying to get somebody trying to kiss up to white racist Anglo-Saxon white cousins who were making money because actually when NWA was making that money, that was their crowd. You had people Africans saying love NWA, but you had a lot of white people like NWA too. Back in 1980 and 1980s, go look at Shattuck and everything. Shattuck was all factual, but that's very true. A lot of white people, especially even ones who were racist, bought them CDs and tapes. Okay, and you use the word nigga and talking about all type of stuff. Oh yes, gangster rap and stuff, because they want to see Africans to be thugs, not positive people. Okay, and thugs lead us to go to prison. 13th Amendment say what? Except for a criminal act, you're still a slave. If you become part of the private prison complex, you're a slave to the country. Okay, slavery in India on the plantation, not on it's alive in the prisons. Okay, so I want everyone to hear this because it's getting on my nerves. So yes, the Sereno gang that was with Toker stopped Death Row Records and Suge Knight from jumping and beating, or maybe had to delete Easy E. So did. And in Beverly Hills. In Beverly Hills is where the founder, she was mulatta. She was Afro-Mexican, named Rita Valdez. She was the granddaughter of Luis Cotero, who was one of the founders, who's Afro-Mexican from Jalisco, the founders of Los Angeles. Okay? I want everybody to know that black blood in Mexico created California and Los Angeles. For anybody to be anti-black or anti-Hispanic in Los Angeles, you're a dumbass. Because it wasn't for Spaniard, Indigenous, and black ancestry, you wouldn't have California and you wouldn't have Los Angeles. I rest my case. Also, did you know the last Mexican governor of Alta California was part Afro-Mexican. He had mulatto grandparents, part white Spanish and black grandparents, besides indigenous. Pia Pico. I hope y'all know your history while running your damn batch of mouths. I'm talking about both, and I am African American, French, Spanish, Creole, English, Irish, Scottish, Native American. I am part African American and Hispanic. I'm not Latin American Hispanic, I'm Spanish Creole, Louisiana Spanish Creole, because that's my family tree. And it pisses me off to see dumb people of color who either Latino or African American acting like a dumbass on these apps. And our white cousins who are racist are laughing and their ass off, and they should. Okay? They should. Okay? But to domestic OT, stop using the N-word. You don't even know what the meaning of the word nigga. You're too dumb and stupid. And you know when you use the word nigga someplace else, people will think you're being racist. See, Jennifer Lopez did not say that on 116 Park because she knew she had African-American people paying her for her career. Remember, she didn't go to, she went to Rosas Perez. Okay, I ain't gonna lie about that. She went to the Latino, who's Puerto Rican. She went to Greg and Naga, who's Mexican-American, who gave her the job, Selena. Remember, she was in movie with Mi Familia. But people know her on the Coco Black American side. They know this little Puerto Rican woman from the Bronx who ran from the Bronx to LA, who tried to go in MC Hammer's rap video, did not make it. Did she make it or she didn't make it? Okay, she was dancing when Mariah Carey was singing Someday in 1991. She was one of the dancers in New Kids on Block. We were trying to rap, okay? I'm not saying they were rap, but they were trying to, okay, I'm gonna forget that. Back in 91, I was in 5th grade, okay? Okay? And She went to Janet Jackson. She went to the King Ivan Wayans brothers, and Wayans family, in Living Color. See, it was African people that helped her career. Yes, you had Hispanics like uh, Rosie Perez and Greg Nava, but people know her more on the black side, the African side. Okay, and yes, she blew up playing the movie Selena. After we hear about she did a black candle ritual to get that Santeria ritual to get that role, if that's true, and I do believe it is. But she did a good job playing Selena. Okay, she's not Mexican, she's Puerto Rican. But people knew her when she was on South Central. So she knew if she kept using the N word back in 2001, even when she stole from Mariah Carey and had Ashanti sing that part, but she lip synced, she knew that her ass would be canceled after she tried to compete against Mariah for Tommy Tola. Okay? Because what Tommy Tola, we all know that she slept with Tommy Tola besides Didi. Before he started marrying the Mexican singer Thalia, okay? The devil, as they call Tommy Tola, as Michael Jackson called him, God rest his soul too. And let you know that if she continued to use that word, she probably would not be famous for it. She probably would not have been able to sing Motown, okay, at the Grammys, okay? And she don't look black. She has black in her. She has Afro, Puerto Rican, besides indigenous and Spaniard in her. But, remember, she went to and when she did the movie Selena, she didn't go to she did salsa with Mark Anthony, No Man Yames, the Latin pop version and the salsa version. Okay, because I had the album, I had the CDs back in '99. But Jennifer Lopez went to the R&B hip hop area. That's what her money was. So if she continued to use the N-bomb, she was getting canceled. And the Mexican OT, since he's with Interscope, working with Jamie Iovine and got African people, rappers who let him use the N-word, see, he don't know. Okay, he was a baby. Remember, Jennifer Lopez album came out in '99. He was barely born, okay, in '99. Her second album, J-Lo, came out in 2001 before 9/11. He was, 2 years old. So this dude don't even know about that. He just dumb and stupid, don't know his history, being a coon for Jamie Ivan, and maybe delete it if he continued to do so. Because remember, Tupac gone, and so is Biggie. And it was the East Coast, West Coast rap. Jamie Iovine was the Interscope Records with Def Records, and Clyde Davis with Bad Boy. Okay? Look at them too, but go back to 1978 where Patti Smith came out with the song Rock and Roll Nigga. She was on Clyde Davis' label, and who produced that song was Jamie Iovine. Jamie Iovine saved your ass if your ass is canceled, okay? But you won't get the same treatment as Eminem and called Rap God, okay? Everybody, he called it because Jamie Iovine's money, okay? It's called like it is. Influence, and allegedly, they say he a Satanist too. Oops.